Hey, what is up? Oh no, sorry, back to sleep, Louie. I have the baby voice. We'll do it. Hi, I'm Liv, and this is Girls Gone Spooky. Um, Welcome. Okay, I have thoughts. And I actually just like this just caught my eye for those of you watching. Have you heard of these before? Seeing stones? Okay, I just bought them at this like cutie little coffee shop, and basically it's like these 12-sided dice, and they have all these symbols on them, and they have like a guide for what the symbols mean, but they also encourage you to like use your intuition to interpret them. And there's like a pattern that you read them in, and anyway, it's they're very cool. And you're supposed to like ask a question, and it like gives you an answer. And I'm like, they're very cool. So, yeah, it says 5 12-sided dice, 60 symbols, infinite magic. So, anywho, I'll report back on if those help me tell the future. Yeah, exactly. Tell the future. Um, okay, some other random thoughts.
Yeah.
2 movies. So I just got back from France a week or so ago, and I watched 3 movies. I watched One Battle After Another, which was actually very good. It was like a little slow at parts, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this, but I actually ended up really liking it. Did you see it?
Did. I wouldn't call it Best Picture, but
I wouldn't
I
either,
enjoyed it.
but it was Oscar bait. I mean, it
Mhm.
had that vibe.
Yes.
I also watched Weapons, finally, and I
How was
watched
it?
The Conjuring 4.
Oh, was this all on the plane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weapons was really good. Like really creepy, really clever premise. Just spooky ooky. But there's one part where, the kids running around like that.
Mhm.
The kids aren't the only ones that run like that.
Oh God, that makes it even
Yeah,
worse.
I know. Seeing a grown man run like that
Oh my
with his
God.
eyes wide open, yeah, not a good vibe. I'll tell
I
you that
would
much.
be having nightmares.
Yes, you would. You absolutely should
Yeah.
not watch that movie. But
Okay.
there was a scene that literally the second it happened, I wrote it down in our notes because I was like, I have to tell Amy this. So
Okay.
there's a scene where the kids are like literally breaking through windows to go through houses, like to get to the other side faster. And there's a family like sitting at the table eating breakfast, and kids start like breaking through the French windows, French doors. You just hear like the crashing, and like people are like, ah, and then you hear this woman go, oh God. And it literally sounded like you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh God. That is probably what I would say.
It sounded exactly like that, and it made me laugh so hard. I was like, oh my God, Amy, how did they get her voice in this movie?
I love
So that's just like the goofiest thought about Weapons.
Stop.
Hi, Louis.
Lupina, baby.
Oh, oh, but he's
Oh.
so cute.
Now, okay, this is how we're gonna do it. Wait.
Oh, and he's big now.
Eating my hair. Yeah,
He's
he is
big
really
now.
big.
My
Oh,
God.
you want to sit here? You
He's
can't.
like, please, I'm a lapdog.
Say
He's
hi.
like Binks. He's sniffing. That's so cute.
My little baby.
Little Lou.
Yeah. Okay. Well, keep going.
Okay. So then I watched The Conjuring, and there were a couple of concepts. This is not as funny. A couple of concepts that I thought were interesting. So it's about it's the Smurl family, which we've covered before. And they brought in a bunch of other components that I don't think were true in the real story, but a lot of it was about this like haunted mirror that was like brought into the house, and there was like whatever, something possessing the mirror. So the mirror is brought into the home, and the 2 concepts, one was like people like died on the land, like were murdered on that land, not in the home. So the lot used to be part of all the lots around it, a farm. And there was some sort of like structural property in this on this lot where the now Smurl family home is. And the idea is that like a spirit doesn't have to live in the home if something happens on the land, which like we've talked about a lot, especially with like indigenous burial ground and things like that. But I think we don't think about it as much for like the land that used to just be like wooded or, forest or farmland, like whether people had like plots that they owned there before or not. Like I thought that was just such an interesting kind of like confirmation of what we've talked about a lot. And in the movie, it's said by Ed Warren, who, I mean, and obviously this is a fictional movie, but it's based on, I think they sort of regurgitated a lot of what the Warrens like wrote about. So that was one thing. And the other thing is, so there were spirits that had died, a grandmother, a wife, and then a husband. And the husband killed the grandmother and the wife. And then I think maybe killed himself. I don't know exactly how he died, but it was very violent. And what they discovered was like, so first it was like, okay, well, this didn't happen in the house, but it did happen on the land. So that makes sense. And it was all happening in the basement. So like right on the ground. But then what they realized is like, it actually wasn't those spirits, or those spirits were probably there, but they were being used as sort of a facade for a demon. And so the idea was like the mirror brought the demon into the house. And once the demon was on the land, it was able to like manipulate the spirits that were already like either leftover energy or maybe still actively there. And I just thought that was really interesting because I feel like there are so many cases where we're like, that seems demonic, but then it's like, well, this guy was murdered here, so it's definitely his ghost, so it's like the idea that like those things aren't mutually exclusive.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Which I don't think we've really talked about that before.
Yeah, it was always like what you said, that
one or the other.
This tragic thing happened, that must be who it is. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting concept and I wanted to share it because I think that's probably way more common than we discuss.
Because wouldn't a demon be attracted to a place where something terrible happened? That makes a lot of sense.
And I think the mirror was made up in the Smurl story. Maybe it wasn't, but I don't remember there being a mirror. But the best part, which I think was very like tongue in cheek on part of the Conjuring writers, was like the mirror was gifted by the grandparents to the teen daughter on her confirmation day. It was like her gift, and they literally gifted her a demon.
Love it.
Yeah, so just very tongue in cheek of them, which I thought was like fun. Yeah. Okay, so this is Liv's Corner, our segment.
I wonder did we look and see if there were any more weird happenings on the set of this Conjuring?
I did. I didn't, but we definitely can look.
Yeah.
Let's look.
Curious.
Should we look now? Why not?
I mean, why not?
Why not? With a little.
On Conjuring 4. Right? 4?
Yes. I feel like there must have been, because the movie is really creepy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, wait. This is from 2025.
That's when it came out.
Okay. Hang on.
I'm pretty sure. Or was filmed.
I'm gonna like get a virus from this website. It's so one of those.
Just pop-ups all over the place.
Yeah. don't know if I had any explicitly paranormal things happen to me while we were shooting, but I had crazy insomnia. My mind can't stop racing. Um,
Yeah, I imagine filming these movies would be scary. Like, I think
yeah,
it would be scary to film them.
yeah. This he also said I held a rosary close to me while trying to go to sleep because
Mm,
there was so much fear.
mm-hmm.
Okay, there's this door on the set and totally unscripted while we were filming. At the most opportune moment, it opened by itself.
Oh, okay. I hate that.
Everyone, everyone on set was like, "That was weird." Yeah.
I would have been like, and we're gonna wrap it for the day.
Yep. I'm sure there's more we could
Yeah.
find, but yeah,
So
interesting.
creepy.
I know.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
No.
Okay, on to our main course here, which is Easter scary stories.
Yay!
Happy
Looks like
Easter, you little babies.
yours seem to all be themed. Only one of
Not
mine is.
three of the four are themed, but
Okay.
they're all pretty short. So I figured I would just throw in some ones that I thought were like clever. I also used a new source this time. I didn't go no
Notice
sleep.
that. Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll
Exciting.
see. We'll see what we think.
We'll see if it lives up to no sleep.
Exactly. To the no sleep lore.
Well,
Okay, you're up.
all right. Um, both of mine, well, neither of mine are paranormal this time.
That's
So
okay.
sorry about that. They're
Scary
just
stories,
scary.
baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
love.
So this is from No Sleep, and it's from Writer Schmeider. So
Nice.
it's called 10 Years Ago on Easter, I Found Human Remains in Easter Eggs.
Ew, God. Strong start.
Yeah. Last night, the killer sent me a letter.
Shit.
Yeah. So, when I was a baby, my parents divorced. It was not a mutual agreement. My mother had to file a restraining order against my dad after he broke into my grandmother's house, where my mom and myself had been staying since the divorce. It got so bad that my mom moved us to the other side of the country with my grandma just to escape him. We thought we had seen the last of him, if only we were right. When we moved, I quickly made friends through my mom. I became best friends with a kid called Francis. Me and Francis were inseparable. We went to kindergarten together, to school. Everywhere one of us went, the other was standing right next to them. The best part was, Francis lived next door. In fact, my mom and his parents were also close friends and recognized that we were best friends. And so when we were 5, they took down the fence that separated our backyards, making it one big yard. This was even better for Easter when we could hunt the place for unspeakable amounts of stuff. But everything changed when I was 8 years old. Louis, hang on, he's eating my pillow that we got in Mexico together.
No.
Louis, don't do that.
Not the
Excuse me.
poof pillow.
I know, it's too cute.
It's so cute.
We'll see how long that lasts. Okay. When me and Francis discovered the egg, we thought we had hit the jackpot. It was the heaviest egg we had ever held.
Oh, God.
It seemed like it was full of something, but we couldn't tell what. It was in bright yellow and was the size of someone's head. We found 5 more scattered around in strange places by the pond, inside a bush, inside a tree. When we brought our baskets into my house, our parents gave us puzzled looks. You didn't get those eggs, did you? My grandma asked my mother. My mother shook her head in reply, and so did Francis's parents. Carefully, me and Francis opened one of the large eggs. Inside was part of a corpse. It was not the whole thing. That was in the other eggs. Instead, in the first egg was the head, split down the middle, as well as what appeared to be half a pancreas, and the rest was just blood. I should have put a trigger warning on this.
I mean, I think the title did
you
enough.
could guess. Yeah. Okay, immediately my mother's face went pale. Both me and Frances began to cry while our parents dialed 911. When the police arrived, they took the other eggs away. Even the smaller eggs were taken away in order to check for any further human remains. They didn't find the whole body. Many organs were missing. The DNA tests and missing reports showed that the body was that of Elizabeth Taylor, a 19-year-old girl who had been attending college in our town, whilst also working as a waitress at a local diner. The killer was not found. "Where did you find these eggs?" said one of the police detectives as they sat us down. "Exact place." I paused for a second. "In the bush, in the tree, by the pond, outside Frances's rabbit hutch." I paused. "And in the flower bush," interrupted Frances. "And the treehouse," I finished. The detective wrote these all down before she headed outside with a few other officers to search for tracks or clues as to where or who the killer was. We soon began to receive envelopes from the killer containing fingers
Oh.
that, when tested, were confirmed to have been some of Elizabeth Taylor's missing digits. After the 10th finger, they stopped. We were left in peace, for a while at least. After that, life continued as normal. Me and Frances were both obviously traumatized and had to go to therapy, as we had become so terrified that we rarely left the safety of our houses. Then, on the night before Easter, when I was 9, I anxiously stared out into the yard after having woken up from a night terror. As I stared out into the yard, I saw movement coming from the fence. I opened my window and swung my flashlight to get a better view. Climbing into the yard, over the fence, was a man dressed in an Easter Bunny costume. That would make me pass away instantly.
I would die. I would perish.
Mm-hmm. There was dried blood caked on the costume. The eyes were hollow and empty. The man stared up at me and gave me a little wave. He carefully placed a large yellow egg that he clutched in his arms just by the pond, just like last year. I screamed for help, and my mother... Louie, don't scare me right now.
Yeah, God.
Hopefully that means Dave is home.
Let's hope.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I lost my place. Thanks to Louie. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Louie.
He placed the egg by the pond. Okay, I screamed for help, and my mother came running. She ran to the window and saw the newly placed egg by the pond and the man escaping over the fence. Yet again, the police were called. They opened the egg and found inside the missing parts of Elizabeth Taylor's dead body. So he was hanging on to those for a year, which is horrifying. There was a blood-soaked, poorly written note atop the remains that said "Happy Easter."
Ugh.
I didn't hear from the killer again until yesterday, just a few weeks before Easter. I received a letter to our house that read, "I'm sorry it's been so long. Last time I saw you, I was climbing over your fence at Easter when you were 9. I'm sorry that poor girl had to sacrifice herself for our reunion. I did this to have my revenge on your mother, and now it's time we finally meet again. I've been there for you every Easter since the day you were born. Only a few times did I make myself known. I want you to meet me at this address on Sunday, the 21st of April at 7 p.m. Dear old dad."
Oh my God.
I crumpled the letter in my hand and shook the envelope. A severed finger fell out and landed with a thump on the doormat. Attached was a sticky note that read, "Your mother's finger. She's here with me." I don't know what to do. Kill him? Or try to negotiate? How could he do this to me? Make me paranoid, anxious, ruin my childhood? Murder that poor girl and now kidnap my mom as bait? My head hurts and I feel like I'm gonna throw up, and I've just looked out my window. Hanging from the tree is a bunny costume. Happy Easter, everyone.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my
about
God.
that one is disturbing.
So, should I do
Yeah.
my Easter ones?
Yeah,
before
that,
we move on?
yes, because my other one is disturbing too, so.
I think I'm clicking on your other one. We may have done this one before, but
Really?
even if we have,
Wait,
you have
what's
to
a.
do it again because it's a really good one. The
Okay.
Return to Sender one.
I don't remember it at all. Did we do it?
Good. Maybe I just read it. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
one
I
of
just
the.
read it and I,
It's like a top no
yeah.
sleep story. Like I
Yeah,
think it
it's a
was.
really, really good one. So it doesn't even matter if we have done it before.
Yeah, it's got
Um,
23,000 upvotes.
yeah, it's
So
really popular. It's
yeah.
very clever. Okay, I will warn you, this has some animal abuse, I guess. Yeah, no, it is blatantly animal
Yeah.
abuse.
Okay.
Okay, this is called The Day After Easter, and it's written by Forgotten Well. Easter was going very well this year. My 10-year-old son found his Easter basket with ease. Easter Mass was lively, and afterwards we attended a lovely brunch. From there, we went home, changed out of our Sunday best, and gathered in the living room to watch Peter Rabbit. That's when my husband said he had one last surprise for our son. I glared at him and whispered, "It better not be what I think it is." "Relax," he whispered back. My husband, bless his soul, is a bit of an oddball. He went to the garage and returned holding a small kennel. Inside was a tiny white rabbit. "I got you your very own Easter bunny, bud." My son was practically squealing from excitement. "I'm going to name him Bunnicula," he said. I scowled at my husband in disapproval. When my husband was young, all the boys in his family got bunnies for Easter. It was his favorite family tradition. There's one problem. This is the third bunny he's gotten for our son. The previous 2 Easters, my son was given a bunny exactly like this, but both years, the day after Easter, when I went to check on the bunnies, they had been mutilated. Last year, the bunny's head was twisted almost completely off. One bunny gets hurt and it's an accident, but 2, he's a quiet kid. He's never shown any signs of violence before, but what he did to those bunnies, I made my husband promise he wouldn't get him another pet unless we both agreed to it. A promise he just broke. I pretended to be supportive, but decided that bunny was not going to leave my sight. That night, I snuck into my son's room and hid in his closet with slatted doors. I know, it seems cliche, but I wanted to see how he treated the bunny when nobody was looking. Shortly after, my son entered his room, suspiciously looked around outside his door, then shut it as quietly as possible. He tiptoed to his new bunny, carefully took him out of his kennel, and started petting him gently. "Don't worry, Bunnicula, I'm not going to lose you too." He leaned over and kissed his little forehead. The door to his room then swung open. It was my husband. "Where's your mother?" "I don't know." "We'll have to make this quick." My husband walked over, snatched away the bunny, and started squeezing it until it began to squeal. "Stop," my son cried. "You're hurting him. If you don't kill him quickly, then I'll kill him slow." "Please, Dad, I want to keep this one." "Kill it now, or it's your mother." My son, tears in his eyes, took the rabbit by its neck and slammed it against the wall, killing it instantly. He started sobbing in agony. "You're getting better at killing," my husband said. "Next year, I bet you won't even cry." I was worried my son was a monster. Turns out I'm married to one.
So scary.
It's so bad.
I
I
hate
was like,
that. Yeah. No. Oh, that poor kid.
I know. And the poor bunny.
Yeah. All the bunnies.
I know all the bunnies, all 3
So
of them.
sad.
Anyway, no bunnies were harmed in
Awful.
the writing of
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah.
I hope.
We hope.
Okay, part 2. Cat. This is by Cat in the Cupboard. Easter was yesterday, but we still haven't found all the eggs, is the title. My family is big on holidays, and Easter is no okay. Easter is
Obsession.
no exception, for the love of God. And Jeebus, who is risen.
Yes.
Everyone comes home, we play games, eat a lot of good food, tell stories, get a little drunk. It's a good time as long as you ignore Uncle Mort's racist tirades. The hunt
Okay.
is our Easter tradition. Grandma used to put the eggs out, but she has dementia now, so my mom did it this year. You hide the eggs at dawn, put on your Easter best, and after breakfast, the hunt begins. Every player has 3 eggs they have to find, and you get 2 days. I'm getting married in the summer, so this is the last Easter I'll have to play this stupid game. Well, so long as I'm alive, that is. See, I've only found 2 eggs, and I've only got until sundown to find the last one, or I become the hunted. I want to cry. I've never been a runner on Easter before. My brother was the last runner 3 years ago, and he came home, but he's sitting in his chair drooling next to Grandma now. My cousin Mary is making me a flower crown, says it's supposed to help. I've got my best dress on, and my mom's scurrying around the house to find anointing oils. I'm still in the garden, digging behind bushes and reaching through cobwebs. Pretty sure a black widow got me, but I can't stop until I find my last egg. Every time I pause to catch my breath, all I can hear are the chains on the cellar door rattling. And Grandma. I can hear Grandma laughing. If I look up, I can see her in the bay window watching me. She's feeding bits of boiled egg to my brother.
Ew. Why are these so
So
dark?
creepy. No! Sword Scary Stories, that's the subreddit these are pulled from, and they're very creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my last Easter themed one.
Okay.
The Last Easter Egg Hunt. And this is from 1001 Nights. Emma ran to her parents' bedroom. She never normally went to that room and was always excited by its different look and smell, the unfamiliar objects, the window looking out at a different part of the garden. That day the window was open, and the lace curtains fluttered prettily in the early spring breeze. Emma paused and looked at her mom's beautiful white dressing table, covered with shiny, lovely things. Then she bent low and peeked under their very large bed, where she knew the third and last chocolate egg was hidden. The egg was there, sparkling in pale blue and silver wrapping. Emma had already reached out for it when she realized small, pale fingers began clutching it quite tight. Emma felt worried that the egg would crack. 2 pale eyes stared at her from under the bed. Mine, it said clearly. The door behind Emma had swung shut. Her hand wasn't that far from the egg. She wondered whether she should try to snatch it. She had plenty of experience with kids at school who liked to take things that weren't theirs. Emma! Her mom's cry came through the door, but Emma really wanted her third chocolate egg. It was the largest and had pink bunnies on the silvery blue wrapping. Her hand inched forward. The fingers moved the egg back into the darker recesses of under the bed. Emma was now lying fully on her tummy, only her legs sticking out from the dark wooden edge of the bed. Emma, are you in my room? Get out! There's no chocolate there! Now Mom's voice was very close, almost at the door. Emma wanted the egg. Give it, she said, and stretched out more under the bed. It's mine. The egg moved further back, and the pale eyes didn't leave Emma's. Go away. It smelled funny. Emma had thought this was her parents' smell, but now she knew it wasn't. She crawled further into the darkness under the bed. Mom burst in, just in time to see the soles of Emma's little feet vanish into the darkness. Emma! She screamed. She bent low and looked under the bed. April sunlight poured in from the open windows, flooding every corner of the room. It shone brightly on a scrap of silver and pale blue foil, with showing 1 pink ear and half a bunny face. There was nothing else under the bed.
Whoa.
Something snatched her, used an egg to lure her under. Creepy.
Evil Easter Bunny.
Very evil Easter Bunny.
I guess I'm not. I don't know. Am I surprised or not surprised that there are a lot of scary stories about Easter?
Yeah.
It's kind of a.
Yeah, and I mean, even like the biblical story of Easter is like a little scary.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you take it on face value, it's a little zombie kind of action.
Yes.
Yeah, so not shocking. And also then like the concept of the Easter bunny and like I don't know. What is it Nostara? Is that the Wiccan holiday at Easter?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Nostara. Sounds cool.
What it's called? Looking it up. Ostara. Wiccan spring equinox. So it's already passed, but like it is, I think it might be where the Easter bunny comes from. Let's see. Easter bunny origin.
That would make sense.
Osterhaus, the Easter hare. Mythical creature that judged whether children were good or bad. Leave it to the Germans.
Yeah. That and the Krampus.
Yeah, exactly. They leave colored eggs for the well-behaved. Goes back to the 17th century at least. Brought to America by German immigrants. So it's pagan. I mean, the rabbit is an ancient symbol of fertility, of spring, represents new life.
Yeah.
Ostara,
Mm-hmm.
Osterhaus, similar vibes.
Yes. Yep.
So
It all makes
anywho,
sense. Mm.
it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are our little Easter stories, but now
Yep.
we've got a couple extra creepies for you.
Yay. Okay.
To
Yeah, hopefully we didn't read this one because also it took me a second to figure out
get
the
it.
ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would remember.
I mean,
I
I
have a
must have
feeling
read
we
it.
read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I must have read it.
Okay. But we'll see. Maybe
I
people will
probably
tell
read
us.
it and thought like, ooh, this is probably too dark.
It's not great. But oh
But
well.
it is great at the same
Yeah.
time.
Okay. It's written by Manon Lisette, Lyset. And it's called A Package Marked Return to Sender. So, my neighbor is one of those annoying wannabe YouTube personalities. Over the years, I've seen him cough out cinnamon, lay flat on the hood of his car as it slowly creeps down the driveway, and douse himself in lukewarm water, all the while screaming, "Epic win, epic fail, or fuck, epic maintenance of the status quo." I don't even know what that means,
What?
for all I know. It can get tiring to watch him go about his shenanigans in the pursuit of viral fame. So, when he knocked on my door the other day, told me he was going away for a few weeks, and asked that I get his mail, honestly, it was a relief. I can't explain the peace of mind I had knowing I didn't have to brace myself for any of his stupidity for a while. I was always afraid his stunts would wind up bleeding over into my life. Things were pretty normal for the first couple of days. He received a few bills, a bit of spam, and what I could only assume was a birthday card. Then, one evening, I got home to find a cardboard box waiting on his front porch. In big red letters was written, "Return to Sender." I'm no small fry, but I admit I had trouble lifting the box on my own. It was really freaking heavy. Lugging it across the road to my house was even harder, and I quickly realized there was no way I was going to drag it up the stairs and through my front door. I decided I'd leave this package in my garage. It wasn't like I kept my car in there. The garage door was a piece of shit that refused to open without a good thug and whack. Thug. It was less trouble just leaving the car in the driveway than it was to fight with the garage door every morning and night. In hindsight, I should have set the package down while I struggled to open the tricky door. But you know how it is when you've got a good grip on something. No point in setting it down if you don't have to. It was as I kicked the door for a third time that I lost my grip on the package, and it fell to the ground. I heard a light crack inside. Shit, I cursed. I hoped I hadn't broken anything important, but figured I just wouldn't tell my neighbor about it and let him assume the break happened en route. Hands-free, I finally managed to get the garage door unstuck, and boy did it screech in protest as it rolled up and over me.
Need
I
some
dragged.
WD-40 in that
I
bitch.
know, come
Like,
on.
this
There's
is fixable,
solutions
my
here.
guy.
I know. I dragged the box the rest of the way, setting it in the corner for whenever my neighbor would come back to claim it. And then I forgot all about it until a few days passed. I'm not sure exactly how long it took for the smell to waft in from the crack under the garage to house door, but it came in slow progression. It was a sickly sweet odor, similar to a skunk, and for the first few days after I smelled it, I genuinely assumed that's exactly what it was. Roadkill that had left its mark on my house. It was only when I realized the scent was growing more intense instead of fading that I went looking for a source. That's when I opened the garage door, and that's when the odor knocked me back, holding my nose. The culprit was not hard to identify. The only change in my garage was the box in the corner. I remember thinking it must have been one of those meat of the month subscription boxes. The meat must have gotten rancid from being left out of the fridge for so long. How much meat could have been in there for the box to have been so large and heavy? An entire freaking cow? I covered my nose as I approached the box, a pair of scissors in my hands. I probably wouldn't have needed them to open it, as it had become soggy enough at the bottom to poke through with a finger. But I wasn't about to poke my finger into spoiled meat juice. That soggy bottom was the reason I had to open the box in the first place. If I tried to drag it out whole, everything would spill onto the floor. I was going to have to dump the pieces of meat one garbage bag at a time and take them down to the dumpster, a process I was not looking forward to. My scissors tore through the tape along the top of the cardboard box. I thought the smell couldn't get any worse, but as I flipped the flaps open, I discovered a whole new gamut of stink. It was like opening a burning oven, but instead of a heat wave, I was met with waves of piss, sweat, shit, and putrefaction. It was so bad that I staggered back and had to force down the puke begging to guzzle out of me. I don't think I could have handled that scent mingling with the horrors coming out of the box. I'm not ashamed to admit I ran out the door for a breath of fresh air, but in the short time I'd spent in the garage, the smell had become so ingrained in the fabric of my clothes that it clung to me like a shadow. Nothing I tried could keep the smell out of my nostrils. Not air fresheners, not a face mask, not three showers and a change of clothes. Every second that box lay open in my garage was another second the smell was allowed a foothold into my home. I had to bite the bullet. I returned to the garage, the flaps of the box still open as though inviting me to look. I was prepared, a clothespin pinning my nostrils shut, a garbage bag in one hand, the strongest cleaner I could find in the other, and long rubber gloves to keep my skin from having to touch what was inside. But, as it turns out, I needed none of those things. I wouldn't have to touch or clean the contents of that box. I would only have to suffer the nightmares every night. You see, there was no meat in that box. But it did not, oh wait, sorry. You see, there was meat in that box, but it didn't come from a cow or a pig. No, it was worse than that. It was my neighbor, dead. Still in one piece, but dead. I feel like I saw that coming, but it's disgusting. So, I called the cops, and naturally they took me in for interrogation. It's kind of hard not to suspect the man with a corpse in his garage, after all. Thankfully, they soon realized I wasn't involved. My DNA might have been all over that box, the smell might have left a mark throughout my house, but there was one piece of irrefutable evidence in my neighbor's own hands that proved my innocence: a vlogging camera. They showed me the footage only once. I'm not sure if they were allowed to, or if they felt so bad for me they figured it couldn't hurt. Either way, I saw it. My neighbor was sitting in the box outside of a shipping facility, laughing as he told the world how he was going to mail himself across state lines. He'd brought pee bottles, food, a pillow, and a few flashlights. His friend, a guy I'd seen at his place several times to help with his stunts, closed the lid and presumably dropped him off for shipment. Throughout the next couple of hours, or days, I'm honestly not sure, my neighbor recorded a few short clips about his progress. I think I'm in a truck now. I can feel it moving. Must be in a warehouse. Pretty warm here. Still got plenty of food. That kind of stuff. And then, on the last entry, the box toppled over. He broke his neck, and that was it. The camera recorded until either the memory card got too full or the battery died. There's one thing I didn't tell the police after they showed me the video. One thing I heard in the footage that will haunt me to the day I die. Just after the tumble that broke his neck, I heard the familiar screeching sound of my garage door. Yikes! Oh,
I killed
God.
him on
Yeah, I
accident.
know. Yeah, and people in the comments were like, guys, I don't get the last part. Someone explain
Oh,
I'm stupid.
that's
And
so
it
funny.
was at the beginning when he dropped the box, there was a crack. That was his neck breaking. So
Yes.
technically he is the
Yeah.
murderer.
In case anyone didn't follow.
Yeah.
I know it's so funny because it's like one of those things where you're really expecting it to be some like, serial killer or something like that, but it's like, ooh, it's actually like worse in some
I
ways.
accidentally killed someone. Yeah.
Literally.
That is hard to live with.
Yes.
Anyway, on to you.
Really, really into the dead bodies in containers today,
Yes,
Amy.
I know. That's the theme.
That is the theme. Easter and dead bodies in
Mhm.
containers.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, this is from less than a month ago. And this is by one of the same authors, Forgotten Well. And the title is I Have Never Had a Single Argument with My Boyfriend. I think my boyfriend Hugh is going to propose. I accidentally found the ring and ruined the surprise. He hid it in his sock drawer. I don't know when he plans on popping the question, but my guess would be soon, maybe even very soon. Whenever I'm facing a decision like this, there's a bench I like to go to. I call it my thinking place, and boy, do I have some thinking to do. Hugh obviously wants me to marry him, but do I want to marry him? Yeah, I suppose I do. Hugh's been nothing but perfect to me since we started dating. We've never even had a single argument. I've wanted to, but every time we're about to argue, Hugh pulls out a bouquet of flowers or tickets to a show and tells me how much he loves me. That's kind of what has me worried, though. I've never actually seen Hugh angry. I don't know how he sounds when he's yelling or how tight he clenches his fists when he's mad. When the ring's on my finger, will he still be the same man? Or when the first argument finally comes, will I finally see the real Hugh? Mind if I join you? I was so lost in thought that I didn't hear someone walk up behind me. No, I don't mind. I trailed off as I turned to face the stranger. I gasped at the sight of her. Her face was mangled beyond recognition, with deep scars carved into her skin like a lattice. One eye had turned white from a nasty gouge, and the tip of her nose looked like it had been torn off. Thank you, the stranger said, ignoring my gasp. I like to come here when I have thinking to do. Me too, I hesitantly replied. I call it my thinking place. Yeah, that's right. It's the only bench in the city that no one ever seems to sit on. If you're looking to be alone with your thoughts, there's no better place. Right. I paused. Well, I should be going. I stood up to leave, but the stranger gently grabbed my wrist. Please stay, Emmy, the stranger pleaded. We need to talk. All the blood in my veins ran cold. How do you know my name? I asked. The stranger gently patted the bench, and I wanted to run, but my shoes felt like they were filled with cement. Instead, I sat back down. Thank you. The stranger smiled, showing numerous missing teeth. I know you're afraid, but we need to talk. Who are you? I asked. You can't tell? God, I guess Hugh really has done a number on me. How do you know Hugh? You better start talking or you. What? I'm you. You're me? Yes. No, you're not. I'm me. Right, the stranger said. Your birthday is October 17th, 1989. Okay, that info is on Facebook. Anybody could find that. You lost your virginity to Ricky Gonzalez in the back seat of your parents' PT Cruiser. That, I blushed. Okay, less people know that. You came here today because you found the wedding ring that Hugh hid in his sock drawer. You know he's going to propose soon, but you're worried that you don't know the real him. And Emmy, I am telling you, the real him is so much worse than what you're imagining. The stranger pulled up her sleeve. Her forearm looked like it had been chewed on by a Rottweiler. On her wrist was a funny watch, like one of those calculator ones, only blocky and strange. Time twister. That's why you've never had an argument. He knows when they're coming, and he always goes back in time and gets fucking flowers. We fell for it. Hook, line, and. Wait, I interrupted. You're telling me that Hugh is a time traveler? Yeah, lots of serial killers are. Serial killers? It's easy to get away with murder in the past. Plus, even if they think they're about to be caught, they can just flee back to the future. No, I said, shaking my head. No, 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 no. This is ridiculous. You can't honestly expect me to believe this. Emmy, please, the stranger begged. You must believe me. Well, I don't. He was not a serial killer. The stranger stood up and pulled up her sweater. This is what happened the first time we tried to leave. She traced a jagged, zigzagging scar across the bottom of her ribs, the first of many. He always knew when I was going to try to leave him. When he told me how he knew, I stopped trying to leave and started trying to kill him. And every time I failed, the punishment has gotten worse. It is very hard to kill someone who knows everything that's going to happen. Why didn't he? I hesitated, not sure why I was even asking. Why didn't he just kill you? Because even murderers get lonely, Emmy. It took years, but eventually I finally managed it. And now I'm here to undo everything he did to us. Tonight, he's going to take you out to dinner at Chrissy's lounge. After the main course, he's going to get down on one knee and propose. The second after you say yes, when he feels completely safe, when everyone in the restaurant is applauding and distracting him, grab the steak knife on the table and plunge it into his throat. No, I can't kill Hugh. I love Hugh. Have you not listened to a single thing I've said? The stranger shouted. He's going to. No, wait. I got up to leave. This was too much. I'm sorry. Please leave me alone. Stop, please, the stranger cried, exasperated, following behind my attempted escape. No matter how many times we have this conversation, you always go back to Hugh. Wait. I froze as her words began to slowly sink in. How many times have we had this conversation?
Wow. Oh, God. Yeah.
That's a good one, isn't it? That's clever.
Yeah, it is. I was thinking that would be like an ex-girlfriend or something.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
That's creepier that it's her.
And she couldn't even recognize herself.
Yeah, that's awful. Wow.
Oh, what a cheery episode
I know,
today.
I was just gonna say that. Some really great stories to, think about for the rest of the
think
day.
about while you're going to bed tonight, while you're at Easter Mass.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Exactly.
I think we haven't picked our topic for next week yet. I think we should do like a really strong basics episode.
Okay.
Like good old fashioned ghost stories or like haunted houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we need a little paranormality.
Some ghosty back in here.
We need some ghosty ghosts. All right, sick. Well, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week. And until then, stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.